Chuck Norris doesn't actually write books. The words assemble themselves out of fear. You're under arrest.
What's up, guys? Mr. Dan here. Welcome back to the channel and another Martial Arts Monday review. This is the final Martial Arts Monday review for the month of November. And we have one more Chuck Norris film to review for Martial Arts Monday. We still have some Chuck Norris content. I'm not really sure because I'm recording this ahead of time, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have some other Chuck Norris content on the channel during that last week, leading up to Thanksgiving and beyond. But as far as martial arts oriented films, this is the last one, Lone Wolf McQuade. Okay, a film I saw many years ago and really kind of surprisingly didn't remember a whole lot. I remember the advertising, I think, more than the actual film. But yeah, I kind of divided the Chuck Norris films into the ones that are sort of martial arts centric for Martial Arts Monday reviews and ones that aren't for other random reviews. I was originally going to pair this up with Invasion USA, kind of like I did with Hero and the Terror and Hitman, do a double review, because I think they're both kind of like over the top and ridiculous in a way, in good ways mostly. But this one does have a martial arts sort of concentration, and I've got this Chuck Norris three favorites from MGM, and also this standalone Blu-ray. They're both from MGM, so I'm pretty sure they're the same. And I think I like the description on this one better. So let me read it for you, because the plot is kind of... Well, let me just read it for you. We got legendary Ranger J.J. McQuade. Chuck Norris is fierce with his gun, but lethal with his black belt. When his teenage daughter's life is threatened by hijackers attempting to steal a truck full of weapons and ammunition, that comes later in the film, the job becomes personal for McQuade, uncovering a colossal arms smuggling outfit that is selling to terrorists all over the world. McQuade comes face to face with its kingpin, Raleigh Wilkes, played by David Carradine, a world-renowned martial arts expert who has never lost a battle. Yeah, he's like a former kickboxing champion. Puts on an exhibition in the beginning of the film for reasons. Does the Ranger have what it takes to save his daughter and his honor, or has he finally met his match? This is a fun film. Did it come together and gel for me the way Invasion USA did? Not quite. The parts are better than the whole. Having said that, I've already watched a bunch of Chuck Norris films that I'm not going to review this Chuck Norris November, because what I noticed is my opinions tended to change on some films that I started watching a year ago. So I'm going to be doing a countdown this month. I narrowed it down to 10 films, but I've watched more than that. So at some point down the road, 8, 9, 10, 11 months from now, as I get ready for the next Norris November, I'll rewatch those films. Maybe some of them I'll watch with commentary, and maybe my opinions will change. So maybe my opinion of this one will change. But it's a bit of a mess, and it's a fun movie though. I mean, it's very much over the top. In the beginning, a young officer, and it's got a great cast, played by Robert Beltran, Knight of the Comet. What is it? Star Trek Voyager, eating role. He's playing a young officer or ranger who gets surprised by these hijackers, weapon smugglers, and the one henchman is way over the top, just a leering, sneering bad guy. And Chuck comes to his rescue, and then they're partners, and it's that kind of dynamic. And then David Carradine's in town conducting business, and Chuck meets his sort of girlfriend, Barbara Carrera, so there's sort of like a love triangle. And she has to be one of his most beautiful and best co-stars, female co-stars for sure. He's got a young daughter, and then he's got an older, kind of a mentor. I don't know if he was a former Ranger, but you got LQ and RG in this movie. I don't know if they've ever been in a movie before. They must have been, because we're talking hundreds of credits cumulatively. LQ Jones and RG Armstrong. RG Armstrong was in The Car. He was in Predator, Devil Dog. He was in tons of westerns back in the day. Tales of Wells Fargo. And then LQ Jones is mostly known for westerns, The Wild Bunch. He hosted a show on the Western Channel. His only directorial debut is A Boy and His Dog, which is kind of strange but interesting. So they're both in it. So anytime they're in a movie, it gets a little bit better. And R.G. Armstrong is kind of, I think he's in law enforcement, and he's butting heads with Chuck a little bit about his tactics. Chuck's got a supercharged truck. He's a badass. He takes no prisoners. You've got a couple of federal agents coming in, kind of getting in his way. One of them turns out to be OK, played by Leon Isaac Kennedy. He was in those penitentiary movies back then, so he was pretty well known. Then you also got William Sanderson, plays somebody who works for the drug dealers. He's kind of a nervous Nelly type character. And it's pretty good. Chuck uncovers what David Carradine is doing. You know, they kind of eyeball each other up a few times, and David Carradine puts on a martial arts demonstration and beats a couple people up. And there's the final confrontation that happens. And disappointingly, it was mostly involving a lot of gunfire and Chuck Norris sort of dodging bullets rather than squaring up with David Carradine. There was very little of that. Now, I seem to remember reading years ago that they had some problems with Carradine behind the scenes. Like he thought he was a little more adept at martial arts because of who he was, being on the Kung Fu series. Love the series, great series. A little more adept than he actually was. And I think I remember reading where Chuck Norris said they had to speed up some of his kicks. I didn't really catch that, to be honest with you. Maybe some things got cut out, but it's just a lot of craziness. You know, at one point they bury, you guys probably know the famous scene, they bury Chuck in his truck and he just powers up through the crowd. It's crazy. Just a fun movie. Like I said, the parts are better than the whole. Whereas I feel like Invasion USA, as ridiculous as it is like more committed to that insanity than this film. This film just has a lot of really good parts. Again, maybe my view will change. I'm not saying I didn't like it. I did. I really enjoyed it. It's got a great Western feel, good cinematography, a lot of great actors. And Chuck is Chuck. He's pretty good. So there you go. That's my review of Lone Wolf McQuade. Where will it rank? I'm going to pick out 10 Chuck Norris films that I've seen recently, most of which I've reviewed this month and ranked them. So where will this one fall? Come back again and find out. And next month, we're getting back to some non-Chuck Martial Arts Mondays. And here's a hint. At the beginning of this month, I did a movie that Chuck was in, but it was really someone else's movie. That's how I kind of eased into the month. So we're going back to focus on that guy next week. And then beyond, we'll have everybody from Jet Li to Tony Jaa to Van Damme to, classic Shaw Brothers and Golden Harvest movies. Come back again. Okay, thanks. Later.